Today we are going to be talking about comparatives. But before beginning talking about it, I am going to ask you, what do you remember of this? Do you remember comparatives? Do you remember this? Have you ever seen this before? So tell me, what is a comparative? Who can tell me what is that, or what do you remember?
What
Something.
is the question?
What is a comparative? Do you remember something of this? Comparatives? Sammy, tell me.
Miss, I no sé si sea esto, but I remember that the comparatives was like this is bigger than, and you use the than, and for example, to the adjective that you use, you put a er and er. So, for example, this dog is bigger than mine, or something.
Yes, it's that. I mean, yeah, you have like a good example. That dot is bigger than mine. Okay, perfect. Do you remember something else, guys? A comparative? What is that? When do you use it? How do you use it? Do you remember something else, or that's it? Someone else or not? No one else? So, what do you understand if I say comparative? If I say comparatives, what do you understand? What's the name comparative make you think about? For example, I am going to ask some of you. For example, Sophie, if I say comparatives, what's the first thing that comes to your mind? Go ahead, Sophie. What's the first thing that comes to your mind if I say comparatives?
I don't know, Miss. For example, two or more things that you comparate or something like that, or yeah, in general, this concept of comparative
Okay.
is like yeah, a word that we use to comparate or complement a sentence or
Mm-hmm.
something.
Okay, so yeah, guys, when we are talking about comparatives, we are going to say that those are some things that are going to help us to compare things. In the case of comparatives, guys, we are going to use it to compare two things. Okay, to make comparisons between this and that, between two different things. Okay. So, today we are going to be talking about it and we are going to begin. So, before beginning, guys, I am going to ask you to take a look to this image. When we are working with comparatives, you are going to be talking about adjectives. Yes? This is not going to be done with verbs. This is going to be done with adjectives. So take a look to this image and tell me, what is an adjective? What is it? What's an adjective? Who can tell me? The image is giving you a clue, so take a look. You have happy, sad, big, and so on. So tell me, Sammy, what's an adjective?
Well, miss, so first of all, I have mucho delay, and an adjective is like a form to say something about any person or anything. For example, tú tienes en la pantalla happy and sad. It's like a word to say how do you feel.
A word to say how did you feel? So. You have like some part, but so. Any other idea? What's an adjective, guys? Take a look to this image. What happens if, for example, I say, my dog is beautiful? Or how did you look? Okay, what happens if I say, my t-shirt is black? My teacher is super intelligent. So, when you are using adjective, guys, you are talking about qualities. You are talking about characteristics of something, okay? And that's what we are going to need, and that's what we are going to be using to talk about comparatives, okay? What we are going to compare, guys, are the characteristics. What we are going to compare with comparatives are the qualities of something, okay? So we are going to take a look to this image you have here, and we are going to check if we know all of these adjectives that you have on the image. So let's begin with the first part. The first part has two adjectives. This is a nice image because it's telling you the adjectives with its opposites. But all of these are adjectives. So let's begin with this one. Happy and sad. Let me make it bigger for you. Happy and sad. Questions about vocabulary here? Okay, we have big, we have small, we have hot, and we have cold. Yeah? We also have this, we have fast. Look at the images, this is going to help you. We have slow, we have wet, and we have dry. Okay? Wet, dry. Look at the images. We have also adjectives to describe colors, like literally colors. So black, we have white, we have, for example, nervous, we have relaxed, we have clean, we have dirty. Look at the images, clean, dirty. We have sick, and we have healthy. Okay? Let's check the other ones. Poor, rich. We have full, empty, strong, or weak. Let's check the last part. Noisy or quiet. What is the meaning of noisy? Take a look to the image and tell me, what is the meaning of noisy? What is that?
Ruidoso, maybe.
Ruidoso, yes. And we have hard. So the opposite of noisy is quiet. So what is the meaning of quiet?
Muy silencioso o callado.
Okay, very good. So we have hard, we have soft, we have difficult, and we have easy. So, my dears, this list of adjectives are like the ones, not like the most common adjectives, but these are like super useful. But there are a lot of adjectives, guys, a lot of adjectives you can use. Tell me, Sammy.
Miss, I forgot say at the start when you cuando nos preguntaste what we think for comparatives, if the adjective is so long, you do not put the e and the r. You put more before the adjective. For example, this place is more dangerous than this other or something.
Yeah, those are some rules. We are going to check those rules no matter what. But I guess that it's important, guys, to begin with the adjectives. This is a super short list of adjectives. However, you are going to realize, babies, that we have a lot of adjectives. So, for example, beautiful, for example, ugly. Those are super, super, super common. You can say, for example, sportives when someone is practicing sport. You can say foolish. You can say busy. You can say a lot of things. Okay, guys? So the list of adjectives that I want us to begin working with is this one. Okay? Keep it in mind. These are just some adjectives you may use. So now that you know that we are going to use comparatives with adjectives, we can begin. But please remember that comparatives are going to be used to compare adjectives, nothing else. Okay? To compare the quality of something, to compare like the characteristics of something. So questions up to this point, babies? No, miss. Okay, let's continue and let's begin actually with the explanation. So we are going to check right now, babies, what is a comparative and when do we use it. So, beautiful Sari, can you please help me reading this part? Yes. We use comparative adjectives to show change or make comparison. How did you what, baby? Um, co- How did you say it? Yeah, how do you say? Comparisons. Okay, comparisons. We use comparatives to compare two things, to people, or to animals. Okay, so look at these babies. We use comparative adjectives to show, change, or make comparisons, as we were saying. Uh, Basically, is to compare one thing to the other one, or to show how a thing has changed. Okay? Look at this. We use comparatives to compare two things, two people, or two animals. So basically, you can compare everything with comparatives. So that's the use. Comparatives to compare. Let's go. Let's continue with the next part. Sophie, can you please help me reading this slide, baby?
Yes, miss. To form comparative, you need to know the number of the. ¿Cómo se pronuncia eso, miss?
How do you what?
Eh,
How do you
eh,
pronounce that? Say it with me. How do you pronounce that?
how do you pronounce that?
How did you pronounce that? Perfect. So, syllables.
The syllables in the adjective syllables are like sounds.
Sound bits. Okay, so look at this. To form comparatives, babies, you have to know the number of syllables. Because taking into account the amount of syllables, the number of syllables, you are going to know how you can create the comparative. So, syllables are like sound bits. I am going to explain you with the words that you have here. For example, two. How many syllables do you have in two? One, two, three. How many syllables? ¿Cuántos sonidos escuchas? Two. How many syllables do you have in two? ¿Cuántos golpes de voz escuchas? Two. Tell me.
One.
One. Perfect. One. Perfect. Let's check another example. Comparatives. Comparatives. How many syllables?
For comparative, you need to know the number of the cycle in the adjective keyboard are like some beats.
Okay. So, yes, as we were saying, Nico, we have to count the number of syllables. So remember, sound beats. So how many syllables do we have in the word comparatives? ¿Cuántas sílabas hay ahí? Comparatives.
¿Cuál dijiste, profe?
Comparative. ¿Cuántas sílabas tenemos ahí, amores? Comparatives.
5.
5? Okay, no. Comparatives. Cuenten con los deditos. How many syllables? 4. Comparatives. Very good. So look at this, guys. In order to know how to create comparatives, you need to know the number of syllables. Comparatives, 4 syllables. For example, if you say no, this word. How many syllables do you have in no?
1.
No. Chicos, todos, ¿cuántas sílabas tenemos en no? ¿Cuántos golpes de voz escuchan? No. No. 1. So it can be perfect. So it can be a word of 5 or of 4 letters, sorry, but we have just 1 syllable because in English you are going to count syllables by taking into account the sound beats. Vas a contarlas de acuerdo a los golpes de voz que tengas. So taking that into account, we are going to check the image we had at the beginning. So for example, happy. How many syllables do you have in happy?
Happy. 2.
2. Very good. How many syllables do you have in hot?
Hot. 1.
1. Very good. Hot. How many syllables do you have in healthy?
Healthy. 2.
2. Very good, Nico. You are flying today. How many syllables do you have in noisy?
2.
2. Noisy. Very good. How many syllables do you have in weak? For example, weak.
2. Weak.
No, it is not weak, it's weak.
1.
Weak. 1.
1.
Very good. 1 syllable. So in the case of comparatives, guys, you have to take into account the amount of syllables, the number of syllables, to know how to make it. Okay? So we are going to begin checking how can we build these syllables. Okay? How can we make the comparative form? So let's begin with the rules. The rules to form comparatives. So, Sophie, can you please help me reading this slide? Continue with the reading, Sophie, please. Okay, Sophie is quiet. So let's go with Juan Pablo. Juan Pablo, can you please help me reading this slide, baby?
No, it's a friend.
Okay.
Review. The rules to form comparatives: one syllable adjective ending in a silent e, nice. Comparative at r, nicer.
Perfect. So, when you have comparatives, guys, ending like with 1 syllable, like nice, una sola sílaba, and that adjective ends in e, you just have to add r. Si tienes un adjetivo de una sola sílaba, como nice, pero ese adjetivo te termina en e, simplemente vas a agregar una r. Porque, ¿qué pasa? There is one rule, guys, that says that if you have an adjective of 1 syllable, the only thing you have to do with short adjectives, the only thing you have to do is to add er. Look at this. But if that adjective of 1 syllable is ending with e, you just have to add r. Okay? Questions about this rule? Questions about this rule? Okay. So that's one of the rules. Yeah? If you have 1 syllable adjective ending in e, you just have to add r. For example, nicer. You can say, Maria is nicer than Paola. What is the meaning of nice? What is the meaning of that adjective? Who can tell me? What is the meaning of nice, babies? What is that? Nice. That's nice. It's like that's okay. It can be also pretty. So nice. Remember that. Please open your microphones, guys, because sometimes I won't be able to read the chat, okay? So look at this. Nice, nicer. Rule number 1. Let's continue. Next rule. Uh, Pachito, can you please help me reading this slide, baby?
One syllable adjective ending in one vowel and one consonant, big. Comparative, the consonant is double and ear is added bigger.
Ok, so look at this, once again. La regla general, ¿cuál es? Que si tienes un adjetivo de una sola sílaba, tienes que poner y al final, ¿sí o no? Listo, de esa regla se desprenden otras. La primera, si el adjetivo te terminó en e, pues ya solo le pones la r. La segunda, one syllable adjective ending in one vowel and one consonant, like consonant, vowel, consonant. ¿Recuerdan esa regla? Consonante, vocal, consonante. Si tienen un adjetivo así, amores, de una sola sílaba, like big, you just have to double the last consonant, like bigger. ¿Sí ven que doblamos la última consonante? Y luego, ¿qué hicimos? Pues pusimos la terminación er. ¿Por qué? Porque es un adjetivo de una sola sílaba. Big, bigger. So remember, consonant, vowel, consonant is going to make the last consonant is double. Okay? And then you just have to add ER. Questions about it, babies?
No.
No? Okay, perfect. Very good. Let's continue. There is another rule. Look at this. Let's read the next rule. The next rule is going to be read by Natalia. Nata, attack. Help me reading this slide, please. Nata, can you hear me, darling?
Yes, es que pensé que tenía el micrófono abierto.
Okay, don't worry. Go ahead.
Okay, one syllable adjective ending in more than one consonant or more than a vowel or long vowels. High, cheap, soft. Yes. Comparative. ER. Is that okay? Higher, cheaper, softer.
Very
Yes.
good. Yes, baby. Yes, it's okay. So look at these, babies. And here you have the last part of the rule. When you have syllables, one syllable, when you have adjectives with one syllable, ending in more than one consonant, like algo que no te termine en consonante, vocal, consonante. ¿Sí? Si tienes simplemente un adjetivo de una sola sílaba, pero que no te termina ni en e, ni en consonante, vocal, consonante, ¿qué haces? Pues agregas er. Because that's the rule. So look at this. High, sheep, and soft. If you take a look to these guys, for example, sheep, you have just one syllable because you have just one sound. Give me a second. You have one syllable, baby, because you have one sound. So say with me, sheep. Si se dan cuenta, solo hay un sonido ahí. High, soft. It can be a long word. In this case, we have a word of 5 letters. However, it is a word of just one syllable because of the sound. Cheap. Tienes una sola sílaba porque tienes un solo sonido. Cheap. Okay? So what do you have to do? You just have to add ER. Higher, cheaper, softer. And that's it. So remember, rule number 1. with one syllable adjective, with short adjective. I am going to send this to the chat. With short adjective, that means one syllable. You are going to add er at the end. Questions up to this point?
No, miss.
No,
Remember,
miss?
no.
So I am going to show you an image. Give me a second while I do it. Let's take a look to this image to the first box. I am going to send this to your emails at the end of the class, so don't worry. Look at this comparative adjective used to compare two things. An elephant is bigger than a mouse. So we are going to check this first part. One syllable. ¿Qué nos dice acá? Er plus than. What happened with this than? ¿Qué significa ese than, chicos? What is that? What do you think? Tell me, baby.
It means like que or it's like que.
Yes, it is like that. Okay. There is something important you should know, babies. You can't use comparatives without than. Ahí es esta palabra que tienen acá que les estoy mostrando en la imagen es supremamente importante, amores. ¿Por qué? Porque ustedes no van a poder usar comparativos sin la palabra than. Pues porque la palabra than es la que te va a decir con qué se está comparando. So, for example, an elephant is bigger than a dog. My t-shirt is smaller than me. My father is taller than my mother. Can you see? I am making the comparison, guys. Making the comparison, but by using the word than. Esto es más que. Esto es menos que. ¿Sí ven? Faster than, slower than. Sin ese than no nos funcionan los comparativos. ¿Listo? Questions up to this point? So remember, babies, one syllable adjective, you just have to add the ending er and done. Don't forget the rules. For example, if you have something that ends in consonant, vowel consonant, you have to double the last consonant. For example, if you have something like nice, you just have to add r at the end. Can you see? So let's continue. I am going to ask you before continuing if you want me to go back for you to take notes or if you are taking notes. I mean, if you already took notes, tell me, let me know, please. No one. Are you taking notes? Do you need more time for the notes?
I need a little more of time for my part.
Okay, so Juan Pablo, do you want me to go back to... I am going to go back for everyone, okay? Ya lo expliqué. So let's go back to the first one. I am going to stop for some seconds in each slide and then I am going to move to the other one for you to take notes, okay? Till the part I have explained. So go ahead, 30 seconds to take notes of this one. Next slide, babies. 30 seconds to take notes of the next one. Okay, babies, let's continue with the next slide. Here we go. 30 seconds to take notes of this one. Ready, my dears, or no yet? With this one.
For my part, I use free.
You finished, Juan Pablo? Yes?
Yes, this right now.
Okay, great. So, guys, the next one, 30 seconds to take notes of this one. Okay, my dears, ready? Tell me, ready, babies, or no? I guess you are ready. So let's continue with the next. Okay, where we are. Give me a second. And 30 seconds to take notes of this one, okay? Remember, up to this point, we have talked about the formation of a comparative with one syllable adjectives, okay? Remember that. One syllable adjectives. Basically, you just have to add er at the end and the word done. And that's it. So 30 seconds to take note of this last slide before continuing with the explanation. Okay, my dears, ready? Ready? Great. So, my dears, let's continue with comparatives. Comparatives are beautiful and amazing. So, let's continue. That's the rule, babies, when you have comparative like adjectives with just one syllable. Now we are going to check the next part. Look at this. This is the next rule we have to take into account. So, Vero, can you please help me reading this slide, baby?
Yes, miss. A two syllable
Syllable. Say with me, syllable.
syllable adjective ending in I, happy. A comparative I becomes a and er is added happier.
Thank you. Look at this, my dears. When you have two syllable adjectives like happy, but it happens that adjectives is ending in y, what do you have to do? You have to delete that y and change it for this one, for an I, okay? And then you have to put er in the normal way, okay? So, happy, happier. ¿Tiene dos sílabas? Sí, no es un adjetivo corto, no, pues porque ya tiene dos sílabas. Happy. But what happened, babies? It is ending in Y. So in that case, you just have to cancel that Y to change it for an I and to add ER, happier, like the example you have here. And once again, done. So my dog is happier than your dog. Can you see? I don't know, my t-shirt is happier than your t-shirt. Can you see? I don't know. So look at this, guys. This is the rule. 30 seconds to take notes of this slide and then we are going to continue. Okay, let's continue, my beautiful dears. I am going to show you the next rule. Oh, I'm sorry, I made a mistake here. It's two. Ahí es two. Se me corrieron las letras, okay. Two-syllable or more adjective without Y at the end, like exciting, are going to have this word. More plus the adjective plus than. More exciting than. I am going to explain this one like step by step, but before explaining that one, I want you to see this part. So remember this rule. Two syllables ending in Y, you have to change the Y for IER. And then done. So for example, here we have some examples. Heavier than. So this one is heavy. What is the meaning of heavy? What is the meaning of heavy, babies?
Duro?
Yeah, that's it. Pesado. So the elephant is heavier than the dog. What about this one? Friendly. So you have friendlier. What is the meaning of friendly?
Amigable.
Amigable, so friendlier than. Happy, happier, the one that I have in the example of the explanation. Funny, what happened with funny? Funnier. What is the meaning of funny?
Divertido.
Divertido. So video games are funnier than watching TV. An example, okay? Pretty or prettier. I know you know that one. Busy or busier. So, I don't know. My mother is busier than me. What is the meaning of busy?
Ocupado.
Ocupado.
O negocio.
Ocupado. No, negocio es business. Pero busy, ocupado, okay? So busier than, más ocupado, okay? Weak or weaker, okay? What happened here? Miren que acá les están poniendo un weak, pero porque hay un weak colado ahí. Because in some cases people write like not weak but wiki. However, in that case, if you see that, it's just with er because the adjective is weak. Dirty, dirtier, angry, angrier. Okay? And what happened with the next rule I talked to you about? This rule. Two-syllable or more adjective without y at end exciting. You just have to add more, the adjective, and the word than. More and exciting than. ¿Cuántas sílabas tenemos acá? Exciting. How many syllables? Exciting. How many syllables?
3.
You have three. Very good. It is not a short adjective. Ya no es un adjetivo corto porque ya tienes más de dos sílabas. En este caso tienes tres. ¿Qué haces en ese caso? Tienes que poner more, el adjetivo, y luego than. Can you see? Oh my god. More, the adjective, and than. So we are going to check some examples. More beautiful than. Cuando tú ya tienes un adjetivo largo, amor, ya tienes que poner el adjetivo común y corriente. Tú no puedes poner beautifuler. porque ya es muy largo. La regla es no, yo no voy a poner eso, voy a poner more. What is the meaning of more, guys? What do you remember? More.
Más.
Más. Perfect. More beautiful than. So, for example, in the case of beautiful, how many syllables do you have in the word beautiful, in the adjective beautiful? How many syllables?
5, I think.
Are you sure? Remember, recuerden que en inglés es por los golpes de voz. Beautiful. How many syllables?
Sorry, miss. 3.
3. Remember that in English we count syllables by the sounds. The next one, more interesting than. How many syllables do you have in the word interesting? Interesting. How many? How many syllables do you have here?
3, so?
So interesting. So it is 3. There are some people that says interesting. Like if you say it like slower, like this is interesting, it is 4. Okay, it depends on the pronunciation. However, it is an adjective with more than one syllable. Y en el momento en el que sea un adjetivo con más de una sílaba, bebés, ya tienen que poner more. Okay? More adjective than. More difficult than. More dangerous than. More expensive than. Okay? More popular than. More complicated than. Estas palabras son importantes. More and than and the ending er y la terminación er. Remember that. In that way you are going to be able to create your comparatives. Yeah? So let me know, did you have questions up to this point, babies? Questions or something? Okay, so
For my part, no questions.
great. So we are going to take some seconds to take notes of this part and then we are going to continue. Let's continue with comparatives, babies. Okay, the world of comparatives have a lot of things. But now we are going to check some examples. Let me make it smaller for you. Okay, so we are going to check some examples that are going to help us understanding like this easier, like in the real life, in the real context with real examples. So we are going to read these examples, yeah? Let's go with Majo Garcia. Majo, can you please help me reading these examples, princess?
Okay, miss. Examples. The Nile River is longer and more famous than the Thames. Egypt is much hotter than Sweden. New York is bigger than Paris.
Thank you. So look at this. The Nile River is longer and more famous than the Thames. Look at this. Here we have two examples of comparatives. In one case, we are making a comparative with a short adjective. Si ustedes dicen long, se van a dar cuenta que solo hay una sílaba. For that reason, er at the end, longer. But what happened with famous? Famous is another adjective. Remember that adjectives are words to describe characteristics. Famous, 2 syllables. For that reason, we have to add the word more. So the Nile River is longer and more famous than, remember than, the Thames. We have another one. Egypt is much hotter than Sweden. What happened here? I am using much to express how much it is, like the amount of something, remember that. And what about this one? Hot. Miren que el adjetivo es hot, pero ¿qué pasó? Consonante, vocal, consonante, entonces ¿qué hago? Tengo que doblar la última consonante y ahí sí pongo eri. So hotter than Sweden. And this one, New York is bigger than Paris, exactly the same. One syllable adjective, but as it is ending in consonant. Vowel consonant, I just have to double the consonant and to put ER. And then done, okay? Questions about these examples? No questions? Okay. So now, my dears, look at this. There is another part of comparative that is as. If I say this, guys, Mike is as intelligent as Nancy, what am I saying? ¿Qué estoy diciendo ahí? Mike is as intelligent as Nancy. ¿Qué estoy diciendo ahí? I am making a comparison, yes, but a comparison of similar things. Estoy comparando dos similitudes. Es cuando tú estás hablando de características que están al mismo nivel. Mike is as intelligent as Nancy. Mike es tan inteligente como Nancy. Can you see? So, to do it, guys, you just have to follow this structure. As, the adjective, and as. Solo tienes que poner el as, un adjetivo normal, sin terminaciones, sin eres, absolutamente nada, porque tienes un as. As, un adjetivo, el que tú quieras, y luego pones un as. Es como hacer un sanduchito de adjetivos. Yes? And the word you're going to use is as. So look at this. Larry is as popular as Oprah. So es tan popular como Oprah, están al mismo nivel. So, questions about it? Para hacer comparaciones, pero cuando están al mismo nivel. You can say, my dog is as beautiful as your dog. My best friend is as intelligent as I am. My mom cooks as delicious as your mom. ¿Sí ven? Para hablar de cosas que son iguales. As, un sanduchito de adjetivos. Remember that. Cuando vayan a hablar de similitudes, piensen en el sándwich. Think about the sandwich. Adjectives sandwich. As, adjective, as. Questions about it, my dears? Yep, no, so. Okay. So let's take some seconds to take notes, please. Okay, that's it. So, my dears, questions up to this point about comparatives, oh my gosh, comparatives or superlatives? Questions? So, we are going to stop. We are going to stop by now, but we are going to finish with this explanation because I want us to practice and to watch some examples from the real life. So we are going to stop by today with this first part of comparatives, but next class we are going to continue working with this and we are going to have the chance to practice, okay? So that's all by now, babies, and I see you next class. That means Wednesday, I guess? Yeah, so that's all by now, guys. I love you all. Have a nice weekend. Bye bye.